Hey guys, today I decided to do a video on 5 limited and special edition Ford cars that I found interesting and did some research on lately. Make sure to let me know which one of these is your favorite and if you want to see a part 2 of this video, because I love doing these informative automotive videos. They're a lot of fun to make. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into the video. Ford Falcon XC Cobra. This special edition Ford was based on the Australian XC Gen Ford Falcon. As Ford of Australia ended production of the XC Falcon in 1978, they still had more than 400 body shells remaining in the factory that they were unsure of what to do with. Edsel Ford II, who was head of Ford Motor Company at the time, decided that they should make some special edition Shelby Falcons with the leftover parts. The cars had paint jobs in bold blue overlaid in snow white, with Olympic blue stripes separating the colors as a sort of homage to the Shelby Mustangs of the 60s. They also got Cobra emblem decals along with rear name decals. Each car got its own serial number and had a plaque with that number on the dash. The first 200 made had the 5.8-liter Cleveland V8, and the remaining 200 got a 4.9-liter 302 cubic inch Cleveland V8 engine. They were available with either automatic or manual transmissions, and some standard equipment included a limited slip differential, 4-wheel disc brakes, 15-inch Bathurst globe wheels, a dual exhaust, and front and rear spoilers. The interiors pretty much matched the exteriors, being in white and blue cloth. These cars were also made in homologation spec in small numbers for racing. Falcon Cobras are pretty rare across Australia today, and a mint condition one could cost you up to $100,000. This car was considered a muscle car, and it also held up pretty well against other ones of the time. One of these is the 1978 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am, which, as you can see here, made about 220 horsepower, 320 pound-foot of torque, had a top speed of 128 miles per hour, and did 0 to 60 in about 7.9 seconds. On the right we have the Falcon Cobra, which had 199 horsepower, made 268 pound-foot of torque, and had a top speed of about 125 miles per hour, and did 0 to 60 actually quicker than the Trans Am, hitting 60 in about 7.6 seconds. This was a pretty serious muscle car during its time. Ford F-150 NASCAR Edition. In 1998, Ford released a limited edition of the F-150 pickup truck that was based on a NASCAR stock car. This truck was built by Ford to celebrate both the 50th anniversary of NASCAR as well as 5 years of Ford being the official truck of NASCAR. This limited edition package was only available on the regular cab, two-wheel drive, short bed XL configuration. It used the stock F-150 engine, which was a 4.6-liter V8 that made 210 horsepower and 255 pound-foot of torque. It also came with the FOU1 computer code, and you could choose between a 5-speed manual or automatic transmission. Exterior features this truck had included black paint with special NASCAR graphics along the bed sides and tailgate, and a special mesh grille from the XLT model. It also had dual stainless steel Roush exhaust tips, a Roush front air dam, and the suspension was lowered by 1 inch. The wheels had special Goodyear AS tires with yellow lettering, which were made to look like those of a NASCAR. The rims were special 16 by 7 inch black 10-spoke aluminum wheels. On the interior, there was gray upholstery with NASCAR embroidery on the floor mats and seat backs. These trucks were only available at dealerships in the more southeastern parts of the United States, since that's where NASCAR was the most popular, and only 3,000 total were made. Overall, pretty cool special edition, and it's definitely my favorite entry on this list. Ford Mustang McLaren M81. Yes, I am talking about that McLaren. During the 1980 model year, this concept was developed by what would soon be known as Special Vehicle Operations, or SVO. This was a heavily modified Fox body Ford Mustang that they developed to create a limited production performance vehicle. Some of the features this car had were BBS alloy wheels, IMSA side flares, a factory roll bar, and Recaro seats. It also got features like new Firestone HPR tires, heavy-duty sway bars, high rate springs, and an adjustable Coney suspension. Since this was the 80s, most car manufacturers were starting to downsize vehicles, and this car was no exception. Under the hood was a McLaren-developed 2.3-liter turbocharged inline-4, which made 175 horsepower and 145 pound-foot of torque. This was before McLaren was known for making high-performance supercars, and during this time they were only a small race car maker. The only transmission option for this car was a 5-speed manual. Performance was pretty good for the time, with the car going from 0 to 60 in about 9.7 seconds. There was a scheduled production run of 249 cars, but only around 10 were made before sales stopped, largely due to the $25,000 price tag it had, which was pretty expensive for the time. Ford Skyranger. With only 17 made, this is probably one of the rarest entries on this list. As you can see, this is a Ford Ranger pickup, but it's not any ordinary Ford Ranger. It's a convertible version. In 1991, Ford commissioned 17 Rangers to American Sunroof Company, or ASC, to be made into convertible models as a way to test how consumers would react if they were to sell convertible pickup models. This truck had a soft top as well as a tonneau cover to stow it under. It came standard with 4-wheel drive as well as a 5-speed manual transmission. Under the hood was a 4-liter Cologne V6 borrowed from Mazda, and it made 155 horsepower. These trucks also seemed to only be available in the XLT trim, which was Ford's luxurious trim. There was also a sportier GTS model, but I couldn't find any information on that. Overall, pretty cool and pretty rare truck. Ford Thunderbird 007 edition. This was a special edition of the 11th Gen Ford Thunderbird that was created to celebrate the car being featured in the 2002 James Bond film Die Another Day. Some of the special edition features of this car included accent panels on the doors, a white interior, coral paint, and chrome spoke wheels. Each car also got a serial number as well as a plaque on the interior showing that number. A lot of the parts used on the 11th Gen Thunderbirds were from both the Jaguar S-Type and Lincoln LS, which were both made by brands owned by Ford. The engine in the 007 Thunderbird is borrowed from the Jaguar S-Type, although it is slightly upgraded. This engine was a 3.9-liter V8 which produced 280 horsepower. There were only 700 of these made, so they were pretty rare. I know some people will disagree with me on this, but I personally am a big fan of the retro styling on this car, and I just think it looks pretty good. So that was 5 special edition Fords. Let me know if you guys want a part 2. It's really interesting looking these up and doing the research on them and stuff. That's probably going to be all my videos for this week because I kind of want to move to like maybe a weekly schedule with this. I think it would help me get more time to make them the best that they can be and get them done on time. So yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Dislike if you didn't. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.